No. I
It is
mean,
a,
isn't he a pseudonym of someone that we don't know who that might be?
yeah, but they found out who he is. He wasn't able to keep a secret.
And who is it?
It's Craig Wright, of course.
What makes you think that? What did he sign the
Um,
Genesis block?
no, he didn't sign the Genesis
Did
book.
he prove that he mined any of the coins that Satoshi is supposed to have been mined according to the Satoshi project?
No, he didn't do that.
Did he code anything in front of a live audience to prove that he's proficient in doing any of that?
I don't know. I'm not aware of it.
Did he win any of his court cases in which he tried to prove that he's Satoshi?
No.
Then what makes you still think that he is Satoshi?
Well, he just understands Bitcoin better than anybody.
Well,
So,
Roger
I've
Ver
read.
sued him because they had a conversation in private, and Craig Wright was unaware that addresses contain checksums. So the creator of
Um,
Bitcoin did not know that the Bitcoin addresses contain a checksum, and that's on
well,
record.
I'm
It's on.
I'm
It was part of the
familiar.
trial.
I'm familiar with his writings. Okay, I'm familiar with Craig Wright's knowledge. Okay.
Right, but the question is, why do you believe that he's Satoshi? What is the proof? We don't rely
Because
on trust here.
because I have read his writings, because I'm familiar with his thought. Okay.
Right, but let's do this analysis. Let's put together Craig Wright's blog posts next to Satoshi's writings. You're not going to find the same vocabulary. Some people have actually done that. It's actually closer to Nick Szabo.
So, I mean, so Satoshi, somebody can't pretend to be somebody else. Somebody can't play a character.
I'm not saying that, but when you say you're familiar with his writings, what does that mean? You associate Craig Wright's writings with Satoshi's writings?
Well, no, I'm familiar with his writings and I've read them and I've seen that he understands Bitcoin better than anybody. So I don't really have any reason to doubt his claim. I mean, so even if he was not Satoshi, he would still be someone that I would want to work with. But I mean, I don't see why I would. I don't think it really makes sense for him to pretend to be Satoshi when he's not. I mean, if he was just a Bitcoin entrepreneur who had a deeper knowledge of Bitcoin than other people, he wouldn't need to pretend to be Satoshi.
There are hundreds of people who pretend to be Satoshi. They go to conferences and they make claims and they tell stories. It doesn't prove
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. So, but I told you what I told you what convinced me. That's what convinced me. His knowledge is what convinced me.
Can you be specific about the knowledge? What it is that he proved to know that nobody else does?
No, just go read it. Just go read for yourself.
Oh yeah, but the point of this interview is to basically get information that maybe is inaccessible to my listeners in other ways.
Just go read his. Just go follow him on Twitter. Read his blog post.
And what if we're blocked and we can't read for whatever reason?
Too bad.
Like, just pinpoint to me a single piece of evidence that you have to strengthen your conviction that Craig Wright is Satoshi.
No.
You don't want or you don't have it?
I don't want to. I don't like arguing about whether Craig Wright is Satoshi. To
But
me, that's a
you
silly.
made a statement previously. You said that they did find him and Satoshi was not anonymous because that's how we got here. You said Satoshi was not anonymous. I argued that we don't know who he is, and you said no, they found him. It's Craig Wright.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they found him.
Who is they?
The Bitcoin Core people. They attacked him with the tax office in Australia. They've attacked him in other ways. It's a very sad story.
Oh, you can tell me more about this story.
Okay, well, um, so the Australian tax office was used to harass him for several years, and then N-Chain was infiltrated by Christian Ager Hansen, and his legal strategy was subverted. So he was hurt a lot in court with that.
That's it?
No. Well, but I'm not the person to talk about Craig Wright. I don't follow all of this stuff that great. But that's some things that I read about. But yeah, I mean, to me, this argument about whether Craig Wright is Satoshi is kind of a distraction. It's just not very important.
I like this.
You don't need to believe that Craig Wright is Satoshi in order to learn from him. But I think if you learn from him, it's kind of obvious that he is Satoshi, because he would be the one who can teach you about Bitcoin.
Can you tell me what Craig Wright taught you about Bitcoin that you did not know previously?
Well, so the stuff I discussed earlier about Bitcoin not being good for breaking the law, about traceability.
Oh, you have blockchain analysis to teach you that if you want. You can actually read their reports.
I can't hear what you're saying. I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying.
So if you're into that, you can read reports by blockchain.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Blockchain analysis?
Huh?
I said blockchain analysis. You can actually look that up, and you can find all their methodology on how they trace Bitcoin. You can do that yourself if you want on a blockchain explorer. It's so simple these days.
Yeah.
So that was the compelling argument that Craig Wright used to convince you?
Well, no, the point is that the ability to do chain analysis was designed into the system. That was the original idea. And that's what makes it not good for breaking the law. No, but just because you can do chain analysis, no, that's something, of course I knew about that before I knew about Craig Wright. But what they're trying to do in BTC is defeat chain analysis. But what you can do is, well, and of course, chain analysis, that's different from traceability, because chain analysis, that means that you would detect an identity purely from the information in the blockchain itself. But you can conceal your identity with regard to the information in the blockchain. You cannot conceal your identity with the blockchain plus other information that's available. So if there is a warrant, for example, and you get searched, then you cannot conceal your identity. Or if there's, so you're connecting your identity to the blockchain should be based on information in the blockchain plus information that comes from somewhere else. But it should not be based on just the blockchain itself.
Yeah, sorry for the distraction. I just got this from my girlfriend. She's been painting my new avatar on wood with acrylic paint. Pretty cool. Can't wait for the final result to put it in my background. And if you want to commission her for work, she's available. But she will not be cheap. Yeah, anyway, Daniel, I've been thinking, so what was the moment when you decided to leave the Nakamoto Institute and pursue this new research of yours into Craig Wright? What was it that made you think, okay, this Bitcoin project is not what I thought it was, and it's completely something else that Craig Wright tells me that it is?
No, this was before I knew anything about Craig Wright. I left before I had heard the name Craig Wright. I left, so that of course would make it before 2015, I think, since that was when I first saw Craig Wright. But no, I left before that. And the reason was because of safety. And my partners
Safety?
safety.
Saifedean?
Yeah.
Saifedean Ammous, the writer?
Right. Because